Hello there, YouTubers. It's the 12th. It's the 12th of November 2024 AC, both at Australian East Daylight Time and at local Peking time. Um, well, so since my previous filming session occurred on YouTube, it's been around, more than 2 weeks, and well, I wouldn't say a lot has happened to me or around me over the past several weeks, while I was absent from, on YouTube making videos and blah blah blah. Um, Still, yes, it's got me quite agitated or irritated, to say the least. By lots of you know bureaucracies and the craftiness of people. The subtlety, the craftiness of people, of power and social d- dynamics of people. They just make me so so on edge, so pissed off. But nevertheless, I try, as always, I try to remain stoic about it and act as if, and continue to act as if nothing is me. Though, yeah, there are plenty of shite tend to tend to bother us in reality. And though, the harsh and cruel truth is, as men, we don't get to talk about them um, without needing to think twice and thrice. Otherwise, it will be um, penny wise and pound foolish. But yeah, due to some bitchy and shitty bureaucracies, it appears that I will have to um, delay. I will have to postpone my next trip slash mission of exodus and adventure to Japan quite indefinitely. Um, but this, yes, though the silver lining is that I do manage to have gathered some more funds to, to sustain and support my own travel and living expenses here and there. Um, but unfortunately, yeah, it it's just um you know um taking me too much so much time and and strength of focus to have to fight battles on two sides or even on multiple sides. And I have to admit, I don't really tend to multitask so well. So as a result, I will have to, choose what to focus on, what to prioritize for the moment, until, another window of opportunity starts to present itself. Well, at least for now, I do get a bit of a bit of time, to to catch my breath and think and reflect upon the past several weeks on what I did rashly and wrong, and what I can um try to improve on, try to do better next time, and what I have been doing well and should um, keep it up, and etc. So yeah, and a lot of a lot of you won't be able to see a lot of real actions documented on my channel recently, since like I said, I don't really tend to multitask that well. And most on most occasions, I just don't have you know the the extra pair of hands, to film what goes on um to me and around me while I take real actions. And yeah, it's just quite unfortunate, but I would try to find a solution to that. Maybe say, buy, for example, buy a GoPro, a GoPro um live cam, to learn. That says, that says, maybe I need to learn a bit more filming um techniques from hiding in my room slash Daniel, the Danny boy. Yeah. But yeah, sadly, yeah, it's I currently do not really have I don't I don't find myself in a in the most optimal state or um, condition to to film, though I kind of I am forcing myself to just talk about random shite that that's been going on in my life. And yeah, it's that's precisely why you shouldn't judge people that harshly and that quickly, since you do not you do not know what exactly is going on behind the scene, behind closed doors, behind the curtains. And words, you do not really see the whole, you do not tend to see the whole picture. And that says, you do not have all the necessary um you know prerequisites and um prerequisites and mission um, um, beg your pardon. That says, you do not have the whole list of mission parameters to judge, a certain situation or circumstance. Um, you know, Similar to yes, similar to you know searching a keyword or a query on Google or on Chat GPT. It's your the well, the accuracy or the truthfulness of your input will depend. Well, um, what I meant to say is, yeah, the accuracy or the truthfulness of your of the output will depend heavily on your input. So um beg your pardon, I just find myself my brain, my mind so glitchy at the moment. I don't know, probably it has a lot to do with some brain fogs, but I swear, yeah, I did. I won't say I did that well, during my morning routine for this morning. But at least, I still can manage, to think critically and logically um, you know, in a fairly adequate manner. But I don't know, man. It's just freaking chaotic and confusing. Yeah, on more often than not, I even find myself, my own mind, so hard to fathom, to come to a clear conclusion or a picture of. I struggle to wrap my head around my own head. If you catch my drift. And yes, back to the the main theme, the main point of point of topic for this filming session. Might makes right. That says, whatever that has, whatever or whoever has, the most power determines what's right and what's wrong. and likewise, in terms of religion, in terms of your moral standards, or your stance, or your views on politicians, on your um your your stance on the current of affairs, on how the world runs its course currently. It's pretty much, there are no right or wrong. They are just sides and opinions and points of view, viewpoints. There aren't, there are no morals, you know. There are no morals, but yes, there are some principles, for us men. Yes, we do need discipline and principles, though. You know we do not necessarily have to follow certain moral standards, um so long as, say we, you or you have acquired, the amount or the level of power to self determinate, to do the, aka to do whatever you like, to go wherever you want, and meet up with whomever you feel like meeting up with, that sort of thing. And and the same, goes with God, and with faith, with belief in God. Yes, I'm not saying that I stopped believing in the existence of God, or or the the neither have I formally or officially declared that I forfeited, you know the belief in the divinity of Jesus Christ. It's just, that I've come to a realization, that believing or true faith does not necessarily mean that, you believe or follow, a religion or a doctrine. you know Hey there, Seeker. I've been wondering about your well-being and have prayed for you recently. Thank you. Amen. Though I wish your prayers have could do more good. Do you feel an inclination to forfeit the belief in God? Yes, I do, but I have no choice. Since I can die, I can kick my bucket anytime, and I don't want to go down. And yes, I do perceive a possibility of going to hell. So, you know, and on the other hand, for most for most folks, who claim to to believe in God, in Jesus, their motives are basically that, they just, well, for the most part, they just, you know they do not want to go to hell and suffer and and rot and burn there for eternity. And that that you know that says I am no different from them. That's the sole motive of of me you know you know believing, or at least trying to uphold the faith, the belief in Jesus. Not I kind of believe in Jesus, not because I love God or Jesus, but I see no other alternative. You know, I have no one else to lean on to as a backbone. Have you have you ever considered veganism? Ionic, I guess, because I love the food from your country. Nobody does it better than China. Actually, most Asian states largely follow the diet of veganism. Yes, I do consider myself largely a vegan. Yes, I don't really. Well, at least recently, I haven't ingested. I haven't. I recently, at least recently, I haven't had that much of meat. I don't eat pork. I just occasionally eat some beef and fish, sometimes shrimps. Yeah, and that's about it. I don't really have a you know a you know a f- I'm really not into in ingesting meat for for food. Nah, but vegan or not, that doesn't really determine or indicate whether you are a good person or not. No, you can be a good person and eat a lot of meat on a daily basis, say, and you know um and so similarly you can behave like an utter asshole, like an utter villain, and follow you know um extreme veganism. It doesn't really say much about a person. What you beg your pardon. What you what you eat for food doesn't say very much about your character. Don't don't try to interpret a person's a person's mental outlook or character based on what he or she eats for food. Well, yes, you can. Do you consider avoiding a word that you struggle pronouncing? Yes, I try, but it's just freaking hard. I just it's not because I can't um say a certain word, but whenever some sort of a glitch occurs in my mind. It makes me struggle to pronounce certain words. Say some words that start with uh with N or K. You know sounds. Maybe it's really not a good time to film a video. But yeah. But yeah, it's just freaking hard. Yeah, freaking hard to remain stoic. Though no matter how hard you try to remain stoic, and not to let your fear or your your emotions get the best of you. But some, sometimes I suspect studying might not have anything to do with emotions or your mood swings. It's like I said before, it's kind of another sort of OCD and shit. Once you become obsessed with your patterns of OCDs, it's just so freaking next to impossible to get rid of. Yeah, is there no solution to trauma? Some people believe that some traumatic events or experiences cannot be completely healed. Yes, at least I suppose in my case, I don't really do that. You know, I do my trauma. And yes, you the moment the word trauma, pretty much already answered the question. Why, as to whether I have thought about or considered avoiding a word that I struggled to say, to vocalize. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's just freaking shite. It's don't talk about praying. On the same page. Yeah, don't get me started on praying. But yeah, pray if you want. Yeah, just don't act as if you care about people. Don't take the moral high ground. Don't um speak or behave as if you care or you know more than others or than the person you speak to. um and that's I suppose pre- precisely what I've been trying to accomplish for the past several weeks. I've kept my head down. I I exercise and try to um keep or maintain a moment, a period of a certain duration of silence, in order to embark on the journey, on the voyage of self discovery and self healing instead of self sabotage. Yeah, that's right. Those people who comment about repentance on your videos come to mind. Where did all of them go? Are they still commenting though? Nah, they aren't. Well, I don't really, give them that much of attention, since many, if not all, of them are merely bots. They aren't. There are no, you know, quite much likely there are no actual humans behind, those accounts that used to flood to my and and praying for my repentance and blah blah blah. You know, I don't expect them to to care, since they like I said, most likely they are just bots. Not you know instead of real human beings. And even if they are real human beings, they you still you still shouldn't give much of your time and attention to them, since most people are just brain dead NPCs and drones without a mind or a voice of their own, and they just do things and say things and utter things as they are told to, as they are instructed to. And yeah, how do they even assess your situation? It's easy to sit and comment from a place of comfort, certainly. You nailed it. Yeah, it's certainly to sit and watch and take no real action, and that's what most what most PCs tend to do. And that's also precisely why we have to, more often than not, we have to take matters into our own hands, instead of constantly relying on praying on God, on this, on that, um, um, pastor, on this preacher, blah blah blah. Just do it. They aren't. Well, other than say, other than visa restrictions and bureaucracies that sometimes can make you feel as if you are getting choked. The only the only the only one that stops you from achieving your goals is you. That no matter how depressed or how black pilled I've I've become. I almost always acknowledge such fact. That the very person that stops you from achieving your goals is you. You know, and well, more to put it more specifically, your fear, your inaction, your hesitation, your you know your 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 overthinking. Wonder where the person who introduced you to Christianity is. Well, sometimes tend to ponder that question quite a bit. But in fact, he isn't really the person who introduced me to Christianity. In fact, I bought my first KJV Bible for about $5 on my own accord. Well, not well before, but sometime before he introduced me to Christianity. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I don't really care that much to find out. Since he's already married with kids, he's got his own life. I have utterly no say when it comes to how he should live his life. And since I've already got my own life to work on to figure out already, and it's already gotten my hands full, terribly full. I wish I could just you know go to sleep and never wake up. I wish I just could sleep peacefully for forever. Sleep an eternal hibernation with utter bliss. In a state of complete non-existence and annihilation. You know, yeah. I beg your pardon. And that brings the idea, the core notion, the core concept of solipsism. Well, basically, the core idea of solipsism is, can be, you know, characterized by this saying, "I think, therefore I am," and that makes me begin to assume that whenever or as soon as you kick your bucket, the world ends. Or at least the world as how you perceive ends. Since I think, therefore I am. So the world is basically a representation, a synthesized representation based on your five senses, your five ways of you know sensing, five ways of um, perceiving things and people around you. So once your physical form, your physical body dies, you lose the channels to to receive, to receive, to perceive the you know the outside world. And then yes, like another antinatalist YouTuber says, once you die, you forget about the world, and the world forgets about you. So why care that much? Yeah, yeah. That's basically what life, what the meaning or the purpose of life is all about. You know you eat, you shit, you work, you sleep, you think, you die, and you serve. You serve the rat race, the matrix. You serve the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle. The synthesis of proteins. From the from from the well, from the food you ingest, and then your body, you know processes those ingredients and materials, and then you know discharges them as wastes in the form of urine, in the form of poop. you know did you get along with friends in high school? A bunch of them, yeah, but not all of them, yeah. But yeah, I try to maintain a, to I try to I tr- I suppose I tried quite hard, to make myself a people a pleaser back then. But still, I wasn't really that popular back in high school. No, I didn't really talk much until, say, I entered year 11. And well, before year 11, I just remained rather silent, since largely due to shyness and my stuttering. Yeah, but after year 11, well, since, well, starting from year 11 onwards, I then kind of somehow began to find it more um you know more workable, to interact with other human individuals, and tried some approach to speak without stuttering. But so far it has yielded mixed results. Sometimes I can speak rather fluently, but more often than not, I still find myself struggling with stutters. um yeah. But yeah, just, yeah, I believe, I don't really believe that I have that you know extensive or you know comprehensive range or depth when it comes to talking about philosophy. And though I tried to keep learning and mostly learning from my own life, learning from my past and most recent mistakes. Did your mother support you through your later years of high school? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. She didn't even attend my graduation ceremony. Only my old man did. Well, I do not. I've already. I've already stopped regarding her as my mother. So please refrain from mentioning her on my channel as much as you can. Though I won't ban you or silence you for mentioning her, but it's just I just do not consider her as my mother. No, she's just an adversary, an enemy. You know, she is an enemy and an adversary like Satan. Yeah, don't be sorry. Yeah, but thanks for saying. But thanks for saying you are sorry nevertheless. Yeah. But don't be sorry. The more sorry you feel, the more miserable you will get. So just try not to feel sorry. Um, that says try not to feel sorry for yourself and for others. Reasons being, when you feel sorry, when you keep feeling sorry for yourself, you remain in a state of misery and affliction. And more importantly, you make yourself more prone to remain in a state of unnecessary misery and affliction. Knowing that you can stop feeling sorry for yourself, and the reason why not to feel sorry for others. Reason number one, you most likely you don't really care about how others struggle with their own lives, with their own issues or problems. Reason number two, you don't. I I beg your pardon, but somehow I find it so funny, by trying to elaborate um, on on simple facts as to why you shouldn't feel sorry, neither for yourself or others. It's just you know yeah. Back to reason number two, why you shouldn't feel sorry, even for others. Is that you know no matter how sorry you feel for others' misfortune or misery, you there's no, or I should say, there's very little part or role you can do or play, to relieve or mitigate, you know, um, folks that reside on the other side of on the other hemisphere of the planet. You are one of, if not the strongest people I ever come across. How did your graduation go? It went well. I didn't really have much memory of it, but I can I can forward you my the photo of my high school graduation if you want. Yeah, well, it's not really, it's really not something sensitive or confidential that I'd rather withhold. No, it's not. It's really not that sensitive. Yeah, it's just freaking shit. Maybe I should stop drinking this. Yeah, probably it does its part on keeping me on high alert mode slash highly on edge mode. But unfortunately I just need this. I need this, to keep brain my my brain primed, for business, for work. I wish I have, an alternative. I wish I have option number two. Well, speaking of number two, speaking of number two, it can also mean shit. It can also mean shit. Yeah. So yes, number two. Yeah. How often do you guys tend to have your your number two daily? Yeah. What are you drinking? I'm drinking pure coffee. Pure coffee. Just no sugar. It's called Shokuni no Kohi in Japanese. Basically, it means crafts. You know, craftsman craftsman's coffee. Yeah, Shokuni no Kohi. Yeah, craftsman's coffee. But yeah, it's already nearing sunset at local time, so I'd better stop drinking this. Yeah. Well, at least for now, yeah. But instead, more H2O. And yeah, I still have a lot of shite, to do. Caffeine does a number on our system. I ended up struggling to sleep the day I drank a sizable cup. Far from weak said, unless you failed to take notice. Don't drink. In order to maintain, in order to create and maintain a healthy circadian rhythm, don't drink, you know, coffee 10 hours, or I should say 7 hours before you hit your bed to hibernate. Yeah. Well, if my memory still serves, yes, that should be 7 hours. Yeah, maybe 10 hours. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and rewatch that that video on how to sleep well. By far from weak. Yeah. But yeah, I wish I have choice number two. Not that I wish I I I have more more times or occasions with number twos. No, I believe, I also have a tendency to drop too much number two too frequently per day. So don't get me started on number two. Yeah. number two is not a good thing. The world we got ourselves trapped in is basically a gigantic number two, a gigantic piece of number two. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm beginning to repeat myself over and over. So yeah, and on the other hand, I have plenty of, I have plenty. On the other hand, I beg your pardon for having plenty of number twos of other sorts to take care of. So if you guys could excuse me, yeah. So I suppose, yeah, that's it for this filming session, for this live stream on YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in and being being with me being with me to the end of this number two streaming session. So yeah, take care. Thank you again. Cheers. Au revoir.